Welcome to this edition of News Today, a series where we briefly discuss and analyze important news of the day. Without delay, let's explore the headlines first. Prime Minister attends commemoration ceremony of 90 years of Reserve Bank of India. India's defence exports reached an all-time high of Rs 21,083 crore in financial year 2023-24, says the Ministry of Defence. Scientists discover evidence of ozone on Jupiter's moon Callisto. Artificial sun sets the new world record of 48-second long operation at 100 million degrees. Expert Committee on Developing Gift IFSC as Global Finance and Accounting Hub submits report of IFSCA. International Organization for Migration released a report, a decade of documenting migrant deaths. Let us start with the first news for the day. Prime Minister attends commemoration ceremony of 90 years of Reserve Bank of India. Let us first have a look at the history of the Reserve Bank of India. At the Royal Commission on Indian Currency 1926, also known as the Hilton-Young Commission, recommended the establishment of RBI, which was reiterated by the Indian Central Banking Inquiry Committee in 1931. RBI was then established in 1935 under the Reserve Bank of India Act 1934 with Sir Osborne Smith as its first governor. Moving ahead, it was later on nationalized in 1949. Talking about RBI's organizational structure, it is governed by a central board of directors headed by the governor and 4 deputy governors appointed by the central government. The governor and deputy governor shall hold office for such term not exceeding 5 years as the central government may fix when appointing them and shall be eligible for the reappointment. Coming on to the functions of the Reserve Bank of India. It is a monetary authority that formulates, implements and monitors the monetary policy to maintain price stability. Moreover, it is a regulator and supervisor of the financial system to maintain public confidence. Other than that, the RBI issues the currency to supply the currency notes and coins. It is also a regulator and supervisor of payment and settlement systems. And lastly, it is a banker to the government and other banks. Lastly, talking about the key achievements of the RBI. The gross non-performing assets of the public sector banks reduced to 3% in the year 2023 from 11.25% in the year 2018. Furthermore, the size of RBI's balance sheet stands around Rs 63 lakh crore in 2023. Considering the foreign exchange reserve of bank, it currently stands around $642 billion. In another news, India's defence exports reached an all-time high of Rs 21,083 crore in financial year 2023-24, says the Ministry of Defence. This indicated that the defence exports have grown by 31 times in the last 10 years as compared to financial year 2013-14 and growth of 32.5% over the financial year 2022-23. Also, the number of export authorizations have risen up to 1,507 in financial year 2023-24, in which about 60% contribution was of the private sector in the defence exports. If we look at the significance of the growth in defence exports, then it can enhance self-reliance in defence by increasing the defence manufacturing capabilities and will further encourage the use of new technology. This growth will promote integration with defence value chain by exporting to major countries like Italy, Nepal and more. Moreover, it will enhance the diplomatic relations between the countries and strengthen the strategic partnerships and foster cooperation in defence. Although the sector has significance, some challenges are also involved in the defence export. Those are: to go on with the export, large orders are required to ensure the profitability given the high cost of manufacturing armaments. Moreover, the delays in export clearances further decreases the competitiveness of the Indian defence products. To overcome these challenges, few initiatives have also been taken to promote the defence exports. The foreign direct investment was enhanced up to 74% through the automatic route. Innovation for Defence Excellence was launched to achieve self-reliance and foster innovation and technology development in the defence sector. Furthermore, the Defence Acquisition Procedure or DAP 2020 increased the indigenous content in various categories of procurement like Buy Indian, indigenously designed, developed and manufactured category, that is the indigenous content to be greater than or equal to 50%. Buy Indian category, in case of indigenous design, greater than or equal to 50%, otherwise greater than or equal to 60%. Buy and Make Indian category, that is greater than or equal to 50% of the make portion. Buy Global Manufactured in India category, that is greater than or equal to 50%. Buy Global category, foreign vendor nil and India vendor get greater than or equal to 30%. And lastly, the defense industrial corridors in Uttar Pradesh and Tamil Nadu were also established. Moving on to the next news. Scientists discover evidence of ozone on Jupiter's moon Callisto. The discovery came to light while the researchers were investigating the chemical evolution of sulfur dioxide on Jupiter's moon with ultraviolet radiation, which revealed the traces of formation of ozone or O3 on the Callisto. Let us first understand about ozone or O3 and also take a look at its significance. Formed of 3 oxygen atoms, it is an unstable compound which can be easily formed and broken down. O3's layer in the stratosphere, that is around 15 to 35 kilometers above the ground, acts as an invisible shield and protects the Earth from harmful UV radiation from the sun. The UV rays pose a threat to the humans and environment as UV rays can damage DNA, trigger mutations and cause skin cancer and cataracts in humans. Moreover, UV light also inhibits plant growth and has detrimental effects on various organisms. However, O3 found near surface of Earth is considered a pollutant that has negative effect on humans, plants and animals. Moving ahead, let us get to know about what is Callisto. It was discovered by Galileo Galilei. It is also Jupiter's second largest moon and the third largest moon in the solar system. Jupiter has a total of 95 officially recognized moons, of which the largest is Ganymede. It is also the most heavily cratered object in our solar system.
Moving on to the next news. Artificial sun sets the new world record of 48-second long operation at 100 million degrees. Korea superconducting tokamak advanced research K-star fusion reactor reached temperatures 7 times that of the sun's core in latest advancement for nuclear fusion. K-star also maintained high confinement mode or H mode for over 100 seconds. A few things to note here. H mode is a stable plasma state. Plasma is a hot charged gas made of positive ions and free-moving electrons with unique properties distinct from solids, liquids or gases. Now let's learn some more details about tokamak. Scientists generally use donut-shaped reactor called tokamak where hydrogen variants are heated to extraordinarily high temperatures to create a plasma. This is what we call an artificial sun because it replicates reaction of nuclear fusion taking place in sun. To understand it better, nuclear fusion is a process by which 2 light atomic nuclei combine to form single heavier nuclei while releasing massive amounts of energy. Further, here is the significance of nuclear fusion. It releases nearly 4 million times more energy than burning of coal, oil or gas and is therefore a source of abundant energy. It carries a limited risk of proliferation as no enriched materials is used that could be exploited to make nuclear weapons. Also, there is no risk of meltdown as fusion reactors are considered to be inherently safe. Lastly, fuel is inexpensive and abundant in nature. Wrapping up the news, take a look at the key challenges associated with nuclear fusion. Firstly, development of materials that can withstand fusion conditions for decades has been a hurdle so far. Another, the complex physics of plasma is not well understood by researchers. Lastly, maintaining extremely high temperature of around 50 million degrees Celsius remains elusive. In another news, Expert Committee on Developing GIFT IFSC as Global Finance and Accounting Hub submits report to International Financial Services Centers Authority. The committee was formed following a Ministry of Finance notification. The notification classified bookkeeping, accounting, taxation, and financial crime compliance as financial services under International Financial Services Center IFSC Act 2019. The Gujarat International Finance Tech City GIFT City IFSC was established as Special Economic Zone in 2015 in Gujarat. Delving further, an IFSC caters to customers outside the jurisdiction of the domestic economy. Such centers deal with flows of finance, financial products, and services across borders. Further to discuss the opportunities for GIFT IFSC to become Global Finance and Accounting Hub. It has a strong technology-driven outsourcing capabilities. It accounts for a large talent pool of skilled manpower in the fields of accounting, etc. Also, the accounting and finance services recognized as one of the 12 champion sectors in services for exports. Coming to the recommendations made by the expert committee, it proposes a new regulation providing for comprehensive and inclusive definition for bookkeeping, accounting, taxation, and financial crime compliance services. Only firms that are registered as a company or a limited liability partnership should be allowed to offer these services. It also recommended long-term strategies for education and skill acquisition through developing specialized degree or diploma programs, etc. Wrapping up the news, let's also take a look at some quick facts about International Financial Services Center Authority. IFSC Authority is a statutory body established under IFSC Act 2019. It is a unified regulator for development and regulation of financial products, financial services, and financial institutions and IFSCs in India. In the last news, International Organization for Migration released a report, A Decade of Documenting Migrant Deaths. The report was released on completion of 10 years of IOM's Missing Migrants Project or MMP. The Missing Migrants Project was launched in 2014 to document deaths and disappearances of people in migration process towards an international destination. Briefly to know about International Organization for Migration, it was established in 1951 and is a leading intergovernmental organization in the field of migration. Headquartered at Geneva, Switzerland, it consists of 175 member states, including India. To begin with, take a look at the key findings of the report. It noted that more than 1 in 3 migrants whose country of origin could be identified comes from countries in conflict. And more than 2/3 of those whose deaths were documented through IOM's Missing Migrants Project are unidentified. The major causes of death included drowning, vehicle accidents, suffocation due to fuel inhalation, inadequate shelter, healthcare, etc. Delving deeper, migration refers to movement of persons away from their place of usual residence, either across an international border or within state. The factors behind migrations can include urbanization, marriage, economic disparities, political instability, impacts of climate change, etc. Further, the consequences of migration can be intermixing of diverse cultures and evolution of composite culture. Overcrowding in cities led to their haphazard growth and slum development. It may change resource-population ratio. And finally, brain drain, that is, skilled people migrate from poorer countries to developed countries for better economic opportunities. Wrapping up, take a note of the initiatives taken related to migration. At the global level, we have Global Compact for Safe, Orderly and Regular Migration (GCM), which is the first intergovernmental agreement prepared under United Nations to cover all dimensions of international migration in a holistic manner. At the national level, we have welfare measures in destination countries like Pravasi Bharatiya Bima Yojana. Apart from that, the pre-departure orientation training to better prepare migrants for their life abroad and awareness of their rights, duties, etc.
In today's Place in News, we will discuss about Tajikistan with its capital, Dushanbe. Tajikistan with
The State Security Service has detained 9 individuals in relation to Moscow concert hall attack. Let's discuss about its political features. It is a landlocked country in Central Asia, bordered by Kyrgyzstan in the north, China in the east, Afghanistan in the south, and Uzbekistan in the west and northwest. In terms of its geographical features, its highest peak is Imeni Ismail Samani or Ismol Sumoni, and its major rivers include Amu Darya and Vaksh River.
As we conclude today's main news, let's take a look at some quick updates. The Securities and Exchange Board of India launched SCORES 2.0 version, which strengthens the investor complaint redress mechanism in securities market by making the process more efficient. SEBI Complaint Redress System or SCORES is an online system where investors in securities market can lodge their complaints through web URL and app. Salient features of SCORES 2.0 includes reduced timelines for redressal of investor complaints across securities market, that is 21 calendar days from date of receipt of complaint. National Highways Authority of India or NHIA's norms of One Vehicle One Fastag has come into force. One Vehicle One Fastag aims to discourage the use of single fastag for multiple vehicles or linking the multiple fastags to a particular vehicle. This will enhance the efficiency of electronic toll collection system and provide seamless movement at toll plazas. Researchers have shown that increased ice melting may have delayed the need for adding a negative leap second. A negative leap second is a second that is subtracted from the clocks to keep them aligned with Earth's rotation. It is the opposite of positive leap second, that is 1 second addition to clocks. It is done when length of day is rising when Earth is spinning more slowly. Experts had pushed for conservation of snow leopards, citing them as important indicator species. Indicator species is an organism whose presence or absence will reflect specific condition in its ecosystem. Currently, there are around 718 snow leopards in India. They live in high-altitude mountainous terrain, usually at elevations of 3,000 to 4,000 meters. National Information System for Climate and Environmental Studies program has invited the Indian researchers to join in combating climate change. Conceptualized in 2012, the NICES program is operated by the Indian Space Research Organisation and Department of Space along with other ministries under the framework of National Action Plan on Climate Change. Kodaikanal Solar Observatory is entering its 125th year of establishment. It was established in 1899 and subsumed then Madras Observatory. It was set up to obtain data on how the sun heats up the Earth's atmosphere and to understand monsoon patterns. Kodaikanal was chosen for its proximity to equator and its dust-free high-altitude location. An anti-dumping probe has been initiated on insoluble sulfur imports from China and Japan. Insoluble sulfur is an amorphous form of sulfur that does not dissolve in carbon disulfide. It is an important rubber additive agent used in automobile rubber parts and other rubber products. For example, tires and shoes. It is used as vulcanization accelerator in the rubber industry. The Konda Reddy tribe shared their indigenous knowledge about Indian laurel tree with the forest officials. The Konda Reddy tribe is a particularly vulnerable tribal group inhabiting banks of river Godavari in Andhra Pradesh. They practice podu cultivation, a type of shifting cultivation. Before we go, it's time to put your knowledge to test in today's segment of Test Your Learning. Thank you for joining us. We hope you have enjoyed this edition of News Today. To get the answer to today's quiz and to download the PDF of News Today, make sure to check out the links in the description below.